everybody, Mike Naso here from Internet Partnership Radio. Got the hurricane flags on. I get to wear this shirt once a year when we meet up the entire station, and figured throw it on for this video update. Hurricane Ike has made landfall near Galveston, Texas. It is a powerful hurricane. We have a very widespread impact from it, and you can see there the eye coming ashore. In fact, if I bump this up just a little bit, that's too much. There you go. That's a better look at it. There's the eye of Ike making landfall right now near Galveston, Texas. We're going to take a look and go a little bit more in-depth on it, so let's check it out.
Again, Hurricane Ike has really been a classic long-track Cape Verde major hurricane. It came out of the central Atlantic, actually came out of the eastern Atlantic off Africa, and it moved way up here as a Category 4, then got pushed back over the Turks, Caicos, Bahamas, Cuba, and then it ran along the south coast and came out in the Gulf and sputtered and made its way all the way to Galveston, Texas, where you could see it sitting right there. Very, very large and powerful hurricane. As of 5 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 4 a.m. Central, it was at 29.7 north, 95.0 west. Winds were still 110 miles per hour, making it a borderline Category 2-3 hurricane, gusting upwards of 130 potentially. Moving northwest at 12 miles per hour, 954 millibars. They actually had 951 millibars reported in Galveston as the eye came over, which would make that the landfall pressure. And again, it looks like it came onshore as a very strong Category 2 hurricane, not quite a major hurricane. It should maintain hurricane intensity until this evening for a good 12 hours, which means that it will bring those winds inland. And then by this time tomorrow, it should be heading into Missouri. And then by this time Monday, it should be way out over areas of New York and potentially the southern reaches of Canada. It's really going to take off. Could be, of course, a little bit more on the left or right edge of this cone. The wind field, well, actually, the watches and warnings are still out, of course, hurricane warnings for the coastline, and that is well warranted, of course. And as I mentioned here, the wind field is very, very large with the system. We have tropical storm winds almost reaching Arkansas, and with that wind field all the way down here, Port Lavaca getting impacted as well, and that onshore flow is where that storm surge is coming in. Hurricane force winds impacting Houston. Watch out. Some unofficial reports that some glass has been flying around and some of those buildings have been impacted. There's the infrared satellite imagery right as the eye came onshore. Look at that. There's the eye of this powerful Cape Verde hurricane over Galveston Bay. Again, of all the places in the Atlantic Basin it could have struck, it found Galveston, Texas. And it is a very large and dangerous hurricane, but it still has a lot of this deep convection pooling onshore. And even as this pools out, you're still going to have some onshore winds that are going to cause some problems, no doubt. Taking a look at the radar out of Houston, you could definitely still see that this really consolidated as it was coming inland. You have a lot of these yellows. It tightened up. If you remember 24 hours ago, it had this loose, ragged, huge eye well out on the radar range, and now it is a much more compact system. And if we actually look there, you could see a lot of strong convection and radar echoes still pushing all the way in, and that is a problem. If we zoom in on exactly where the center of the eye is as of this time, you can see the center of the eye. It looks like Baytown, Beach City, Cove, areas of Texas, LaPorte are within that eye. And we definitely have Houston in the eye wall there. You could definitely see Houston is getting pounded by some heavy echoes, and in those high-rise buildings, winds could be a category stronger. So that could be Category 3 type winds as you get up higher into the stories of the buildings. Again, we do have an offshore flow in areas further south like Angleton and Surfside Beach, Freeport, but still getting hammered by the eye wall. But where do we have that onshore flow? Areas of Galveston Island. Well, it came right over you, so you might not have the surge coming right up the bay, but areas of High Island, Gilchrist, and then all the way up the coast towards Sabine Pass is where we've seen reports of a massive storm surge, and then up to Cameron, Louisiana, which means on this end of the hurricane, well out where we had those tropical storm force winds and some hurricane winds, that onshore flow, which you can see just pushing on there, is creating a significant storm surge. So again, this is a very dangerous hurricane as it moves inland. Now here's the area impacted. Again, it made landfall near Galveston, which means that as the eye came ashore, you had the onshore winds, as I mentioned, in areas of High Island, Sabine Pass, into Louisiana, offshore further to the south near Freeport and Surfside. If it had come inland just a little bit further to the south, that might have pushed that surge straight into Galveston Bay, and that could have been worse. But again, Houston's getting the eye wall. Areas of the coastline have seen at least a 15-foot surge, and we really need to wait a few more hours to see what the situation is. And daylight should bring about some scary pictures for some areas of the Gulf Coast, I am willing to bet. Again, so that's really about it on Hurricane Ike. Again, basic recap: it is a powerful Category 2 hurricane. Inland, made landfall at around 3:30 in the morning Eastern Time, 2:30 in the morning Central Time, near Galveston, Texas. Not quite a major hurricane, but very close, 110 miles per hour. The long-track Cape Verde Hurricane Ike, which has killed many people in the Caribbean, has slammed ashore on the Texas coastline. I'm Mike Naso from IPR 365. Stay tuned. I'll have more later.